Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to continue where we left off in Dark Dimension 7 now, on the first node being the any traits. Let's get right to it. I was super happy with my first attack too, guys. This team was absolutely dominant. We got to clear out and take down the Nova. If you recall from last video, there was a big burst that came with the Secret Defenders mixture. So in this attack, we're going to have to be more mindful of those characters and focus on taking care of the residual characters. Because especially with the first node here, you can see the Ghost Riders, right? They were definitely problematic, especially with the amount of retaliation they do when we do take down an enemy. So something to be mindful of there. Thankfully, we have Super Scroll here to actually cleanse that taunt in the beginning. Now just taking a look to survey the land. Robbie was able to use his ultimate, so obviously that hurts quite a bit because he can inflict some bleeds, and he also gains likely turn meter as well with him being used in Dark Dimension as well. Now just taking a look here, I would say controlling some of the Ghost Riders, that way they're not able to get their turn. But because we were able to conserve our abilities for last time, we are now able to actually use this to our advantage with Super Scroll. So I'm gonna go ahead. I think rewinding and controlling Black Cat's pretty big. It also adds exposure onto her, so that way if we are attacking her, we're gonna be doing some nice AoE damage on the side. And I'm really happy that we do have Apocalypse here as well, because he has that, that pseudo heal that we can use. So we're taking advantage of that in addition to an ability block. And as you guys can see, we're just kind of controlling everything on that right side, but focus on the Ghost Riders in the second attack. That way, the sooner you take them down, the better, so that way they're not retaliating for the damage, additional damage that these enemies have against us. And so as long as we're able to control characters like Black Cat and trying to rewind their turn meter, it's pretty big. I go ahead there, I don't even hesitate with Super Scroll's ultimate because of the amount of damage it can do. We were able to clean up one of the Ghost Riders now, and then now we're just focusing on the other one, but as well making sure that we are spreading these debuffs, adding bleed to the team. But this wave looks like it's going to be easily cleaned up. It's more so, which character do you want to one-shot here with Apocalypse? So I think a good one to take advantage of once again is going to be the Nova. You just don't want him coming into the next wave with us, right? So I don't think this is the one that can ult every turn. I think it was just that first one, but this is a great way to clean up. I used the ultimate there for Robbie. To be honest, I don't know if I should have done that. That might have been a little overkill, but you can see now we're in a really good spot here and just cleaning up here. That should leave, another character, and Miss Marvel highlighted should be the last two. Hopefully, if you have Black Cat, she's going to be very tanky. It's going to be hard to prioritize her, but if you can leave her, it's okay, so as long as she's already used her abilities, because that's where she's dangerous with her special and ultimate, the bleeds that come about. But as you can see right here, we're in a pretty good spot. Our cooldowns aren't the best, but we're going to see what happens here now in terms of the enemies that do spawn. So there we go. A mixture here of Death Seed plus some characters here in Silver Samurai, a random Darkhawk likely to turn me to rewind, and as well as Bishop. So you're not gonna have a choice. You could choose the ability block him if you want, but I think having Scroll or some sort of character to just do the first attack on Bishop will give him the turn meter. But thankfully he only has that one turn taunt. A good one, I think, to control is going to be Archangel, just because he's really the core of this team, especially with Death Seed and the Omega Reds. So you want to be mindful of that. That left cluster is really where we want to be focusing on, hence all the debuffs going there. If you can even control one of the Omega Reds, that's going to mitigate a lot of damage, just because I don't think that right side is going to be as impactful. The Silver Samurais can hit like a truck, but it's just the Omega Reds have a lot of control, especially if they're able to land their trauma and ability blocks. It could be very, very bad news for our team. And thankfully, with Scroll landing that exposure, we're just going to keep targeting now that left side, just trying to do as much damage as we can. Every time an exposed character is attacked, Scroll does the passive damage. So I really do appreciate that extra added damage from there. Okay, so looking pretty good. Archangel is almost down. We have one of the Omega Reds to take care of there. And now we're just kind of playing the time game here, right? We're just, slowly building up our energy and using our basics. As you can see with the bleeds, the enemies are really getting taken care of here, which is nice. So this is becoming a very, very strong second attack here, now that we've cleaned up all those Novas from the previous first attack. If you're able to, I was trying to do an ability block that didn't land. I think that was a mistake, to be honest. I don't know if you can actually, just because of how high the resistance is on Silver Samurai, I wouldn't recommend it. But as you can see, the bleed slowly take down Bishop. And then now we're in a good spot. We're just in a great position here to actually just clean up. I don't know how ambitious you want to be, but you know, you can go quite deep. As you can see, at 21 out of 43 enemies, it does spawn the next wave here. I was being mindful of that, and that actually includes a Wong with a Morgan Le Fay, and as well as another Absorbing Man. So that's what's frustrating about this node, is that there are some enemies that drop that are tanks, and there's not really much you can do unless you have, obviously, an opportunity here to strip away their debuffs in some way, shape, or form. Thankfully, we got a lot of mass AoE damage. I think that was a great time to use Robbie's ultimate. Now we are able to use Scroll to obviously flip that taunt, and we can reposition ourselves now to do a little bit more damage and control. So big one here, I think controlling some of these key enemies, always the damage aspect. I like Infinity War Thor just because he can do a lot of AoE burst, and you know, especially at synergy with Nova, you want to take him down. But that Morgan Le Fay is going to be pesky because she's got some good abilities on her side, but at the same time, Wong and Absorbing Man are going to get their way because they have those taunts. And as you can see, Vulture is down already. My Black Knight is looking pretty weak. Thankfully, again, we have that Apocalypse special here to do a little bit of a heal. You always want to use Apocalypse's ability as much as you can. If you guys have him, similar to myself, being used in Dark Dimension 7 run, because you know, he's able to heal, but as well, remember, all of his abilities actually do reset afterwards. Boom. So we go ahead, we don't hesitate, we're just going to do as much damage as possible. Unfortunately, you see that after cleaning up those enemies, another Black Cat does spawn. So now we're not in a great position, but it is what it is. You want them to burn their attacks as much as you can. Chances are this is one of those waves where it's kind of destined to fail, but that's okay. We did some really good damage in the second attack, and now we're basically just trying to waste their attacks, and at the same time we're building up our energy as well. So Black Cat using her abilities there, that's a waste. Silver Samurai, that's a waste. The bleeds are hurting them. Thank you, Robbie. But as you can see, these enemies are intended to really use their abilities on our team, and obviously it would have been nice to do a little bit more damage, but yeah, they're in a good spot now. Do not use any of Robbie's abilities at this point, just because when your team is down, you want to be saving everything, so that way they are going to be coming into the next attack here. He goes down, and then Apocalypse does as well. So solid second attack. I think actually even higher damage than the first attack, but let me just show you in the recap here. Overall, really happy with the two attacks, because again, each day we're just going to do the one attempt and take our time with it. And let's take a look here. So we're 2/3 done the first node, and second attack 358 million. So that's really good, guys. Hopefully this helps you guys out if you're using a similar team. Thank you for your time, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.